Next is a use case study on treated used water. This will be presented by Mr. Dinesh, Assistant Vice President and Head of Utilities and Environment Systems, Bangalore International Airport. Please come, sir. Mr. Dinesh has been part of the successful initial team of Bangalore International Airport for projects and its operations. Mr. Dinesh has worked with Airport Authority of India and various international airports, including Calicut International Airport, Mangalore International Airport, Madurai Airport, etc. He has been part of many successful airport expansion projects also. We are waiting to hear his perspective on treated used water in Bangalore International Airport.
Thank you, Srividya. Good afternoon, friends. So I feel happy to be here. One thing is that new policy has been rolled out, and there was a huge effort which has gone into that from the BAF. That's really appreciable. Coming back to the case study, reuse of treated water. So how critical it is? Is it pertinent? Is it not pertinent? Do we need to really care for that? Those are all the questions not to be asked in the current scenario. So in this context, it's heartening to see so many of you participating in this workshop. So it doesn't come just like that to any human being. It's a passion and zeal, concern to humanity. That's very important, which brings you here. So as a technical person, initially I was also too technical, in the sense we are just looking at, I'm a civil engineer basically. We are looking at how do we take care of the infrastructure, the non-living things. When I moved to environment, my entire thought process changed. I started thinking about the living things. Till that it's your family, friends, right? So now what happened is, you understand there are many living beings which needs to be taken care of. Not only the human being. Yella jalacharagalu anta helteve Kannadalli. I don't know. Some of you may be in Kannada. So that connect is important. So you need to clearly understand that it's not that we are living for ourselves, we are living for others also. Okay, not the human race I'm talking about. Now today we're talking about aquatic life, so many fish dying, even last 2 days back they were deaths. Okay, so why is this happening? Okay, that I will not answer, everyone has the answer on that. So with that I'll just start my presentation. So there are certain things related to BL which I'll be talking, but basically I'd like to give a suggestions or recommendations from our experience, how we have dealt with the treated water. So BL vision is touching lives to nurture a sustainable future through interventions in economical, social, and also environmental transformation. We stand on 6 pillars. The first pillar is what we are talking. Others I'll just park it. So on the first pillar, if you look at the bottom, these are all the areas in which we have already started working. You can see that some of the areas where we have put our hands, some of the areas we have achieved, and some of the areas we are looking at. The purpose is same, sustainable environment through responsible water consumption and replenishment. What does that mean? Responsible water consumption. So is it only reducing the water use or what it is? So basically, responsible water consumption is what you have, use it equitably. Share it among everyone. Second is that responsible replenishment. So what is responsible replenishment? There are two aspects to that. One is that when you take care of not polluting, see, the negative aspect could also be positive credit to you, right? Second thing is, whatever you want to replenish, you have to do in a right approach. So this is what we believe in. In the replenishment, we have taken a stand very early in our journey that we will not withdraw any water beyond a certain water table. So actually, BL 15, 16 years back only, it was in the dry belt of Devanahalli. So there was no withdrawal actually after the operations of the airport. These 17 years, 4,000 acres of the land, they have got lot of infiltration. BL also has initiated, even from the starting, we have put 355 recharge wells. Then we had introduced contour bunds, 24 kilometers of unlined drains we have provided. So all of this have contributed to increase in water level at BL. So we already discussed on the social, economical and environmental intents what we are working. So we took 2-3 objectives. The first objective is that self-reliance, to achieve self-reliance. What is self-reliance? You have your own water available in your premise. That was one of the objectives we set our foot down. Second was becoming water positive. Water positive is how much fresh water you use, that much you replenish or regenerate. Third part is, how do you achieve it? Is it that simply you can achieve this? Then we went with the roadmap. So we engaged with experts, IAC experts, even we have taken help of Vishwanath sir. So we deep dived into what are all the actions we need to take. I'll run through all of that. Then the technological innovations what we took. Irrigation system. Irrigation system is, we have got about 650 acres of landscaping, including grasslands and all that. It requires huge water. So how do we manage this? See, challenge for us is, our production of the treated water was much, much lesser than what was the demand required for meeting our irrigation needs and other needs. So we just thought of know what to do. Then technology was the intervention which we sought. So we did get into the smart irrigation system. Next is, how do you control your consumption, or how do you understand your consumption? First, you need to understand, and then you need to underline that there is a problem. Without understanding or underlining a problem, you're not going to take any action. So for that, we started looking at only the major sources, the pumping stations, to provide them with the smart meters, which are online real-time meters, from which we started looking at what is happening from the pumping stations. We could understand the variability, but the biggest challenge for us is the load, the demand is always variable. Even hourly demand is variable in airport system. So we had a lot of complexities in that. So with that, we just thought of that, how do we move forward? So now, there are two calls. One is that you keep on deep diving into that, understanding why is this variation or something, or what best is the opportunity you can go with. So initially we started, even at T1, we didn't have the aerators and all that. So we thought that, what is your quick win you can implement? Low flow fixtures, all that we started changing. We didn't mind much on the consumption side, though we put the flow meters because the variables were too much. So that is another stand every team need to look at. See, what is possible and clear, let's go ahead with that. Then we look at what is not happening. So now today, if you have to spend for all the meters, IoT meters, each one is costing 1.5 lakhs to 2 lakhs, the bigger meters, and the small ones are 50,000 to 75,000. So we took a call, no, we will not do that. So our aspiration was that, exactly. We wanted to put everywhere the IoT based meters, we want to see the dashboard. At the end, what is that we are going to gain by spending so much of money? That was the question we asked ourselves. Then we put a stop there, okay. Let the main feeders be there so that we understand what is the variability happening. At least there, if it is terminal building, I can look at that, okay, if the variation is there peak, maybe 4 flights were there. So possibly there was a, but otherwise there was no indication which was possible. So just to say that, we put all real-time meters, we monitor and all that. With our experience for airport systems, it's not a really worthy situation. So then we went to the building management system. Here what we did was, we started managing the pressure management, not the flow management. Because terminal building had got 3-4 floors. So our residual pressure will be at the highest point. We need to understand whether with the set pressure we are getting or not getting. So just for that we went with the pressure meter. So the results of all our efforts is, One is that we became water positive. In 2019, we went with water positive index of 1.37. 21-22, when we went to 2.36. So we want to continue that water positive and self-reliance. So what is the importance of water sustainability in airports? So as all of you know, airports are guzzlers of water. So because again, I think Chetan was talking about controlling consumption. We don't have any chance to do that because two things count there. One is that we have to be customer friendly. We can't see. Our policy or principle as a service provider is that we don't want to disillusion the customer. So that's how BL works with the main focus of customer focus. So in that way, we thought that, okay, so initially we also changed EWC to low flow fixtures. We got a bang actually initially. People were not accepting because the flush pressure and all that was there. So then we did lot of iterations. Then we adjusted the quantity of discharge. Even we inserted floating balls to reduce the height and all that. So like that we started exploring. Basically we believe in innovations. Innovation is not that it should be great innovation which serves your purpose and which is easily executable, practical. So with that, airport systems, as I told, now our consumption and treated water is about 3 to 3.5 MLD as on date, current date. So in another 5 years, we'll be going to about 8 MLD of treated water requirements, which is a huge water requirement. And our major consumption is terminal building is the major consumer. Then HVAC is there, constant demand. Then landscaping is huge and flushing is there. Then we also use for the road sweeping, cleaning and all those things. And even if there's a spillage, we have to clear that, hydraulic spills and all that. So these are all the major guzzlers of water, consumers, the areas where we consume water. Of course, the catering units, which serve the food to aircrafts, there are other things, and hotels. So if you see here, Devanahalli region where BL airport is situated was declared overexploited area very long back. Because even today, I think 1,500, 1,800 also you're not getting any water. Many of the borewells have gone without water, but there are examples where now reviving that water, like Vishwanath sir, I went with him one day, filtered tube wells they're doing, okay, and charging the lake and all that. So those are all the options everyone needs to look at. Now there was a good discussion on discharging of water to lake. Actually, very interestingly, for us, they said zero discharge. Whether you want or not, you hold it. What is this? See, the point is, if I am able to give you the quality of water, you need to permit me. If I am not giving you the quality of water, you penalize me. We are okay with that. But of course, corporates, it is easy to handle. From the apartment perspective, I'm not talking from industry or a corporate perspective, definitely this should be permitted by the policy. They should say that, okay, if there is excess water, please divert it to the lake. Now, interestingly, our area is all around we have got 5 lakes. It's the beauty of BL airport. And our airport is on a ridge. We have got a northern slope and then the northern slope and the southern slope. So we are on a ridge. So we don't take anything from anyone in the sense. I'm just telling from a technical perspective, not that in the true sense. But whatever we do, that is getting into the local community because the hydraulic gradient is both the directions. So the challenges, of course, this is all known to everyone. Challenges in water management, I need not even discuss on that. But what is the long-term sustainability strategy we can look at? The strategy is basically, how do we revive our water? How do we create our land? We have got 4,000 acres. The beauty of airports is that you got vast extent of land. But in that, maybe 40% is already taken. Means you cannot recharge or you cannot use it for a bore well or something like that. Though those are all the operational areas, terminal buildings, restricted areas and all these things. But your water, 4,000 acres you are getting. Now, how do you manage that water? So, while we went with IAC, the first thing we asked them is, in case of peak flood, peak flows, what is the impact coming on to BAL and then to the neighborhood? The challenge in many of the developmental projects is that the external drain will be the same. Neither state government takes care, nor the land acquisition officer considers that to treat it or acquire more land and create a path so that the drainage will become bigger. So with that intent, we took that and then we went ahead with engaging with IAC to look at what are all the risks. 2-3 very specific questions we brought out there. So I'll just, the location and all that I've already described. So you can see this is the ridge. Actually, it's a center is the mound and this goes like this and this comes like that. And these are all the lakes, if you can see. 1, 2, 3, and the small one here. So all of them are lakes. So our water clearly drains to them. So then groundwater availability, we had a challenge because it is over-exploited area. So initially itself, the thought process has gone on BWSSB. We had taken 4 MLD of the treated water from the day one of the operations. But because of challenges of BWSB, not even, because they also started giving to many of the corporates, rail wheel factory and all that. So we started having a bit of a challenge there. So then we moved to KADB. KADB is the aerospace park. I'll come to that later maybe. So groundwater availability was not there. Then of course all other parameters. Once airport comes, urbanization starts. Now the challenge for such areas is neither it will be completely urbanized nor it will go out of the rural area. So now the question is whether urbanization is good or the village is good. To me, in my experience, both are same as of now, the current scenario, because like so many policies are there, rainwater harvesting, STP, everything, but how many of those really work? So they just create something and nothing is happening. That's my experience. Maybe it may not be true also, but what we have seen most of it. So second part is rural area, the challenge is you don't have UGDs. Now for us, because as a service provider, our intent was to ensure and build back trust in the local community, because businesses cannot be run without gaining the trust of the people, local community. The challenge for us is, one is the flooding, because we had one instance where there was a heavy rainfall, but there was some local ponding. We can't say it's a flooding and it was flooding, but that was just a generic open land, but still villagers came to us. So then we decided, okay, this is not the way we go. We do a clear analysis and see what is to be done. That's the first point. Second point was that now our water is also going to all the lakes. Neighborhood water also goes to the lakes. Now how do you identify tomorrow somebody leaves a sewage to the lake? It will definitely come onto the business. They will say that you are only leaving, because sometimes we may also be leaving the water during monsoon and all that. When you can't hold, maybe you leave that. So, and again, what happened, initially that was a Rajakal way where the water used to flow, one of our outlets. People objected to not stopping the water flow. So we were in crossroads. Your policy says that ZLD, you should not. When the KSPCB officer comes, he says you should not leave. Where the villagers give it in writing that we want water. Because it was treated water, they were happy to use that and grow the crops. So anyways, then we managed that, but the challenge still is there that even today, now summer has come, they come to us physically. They come and ask us, leave some water. So sometimes we also just tell our team, okay, just give it, because one day, today, if you're leaving out, because we are buying and we have water there. So that's all about the relationships and building up the trust with the people. Now, for that pollution, what we did was, we took the lakes which are on the upstream of, if this is the lake, Then this is the upstream lake for this. We check the quality here and our exit water also. When you compare, build it as a triangle, you know if there's a delta, where is the delta? Is the delta between A and B or B and C? That gives you an indication that where is the problem. So fortunately till date, we don't have much of a challenge as far as the entry of sewage, but slowly that has started. So second part is the used water, treated water. So actually we were one of the first companies who have started using the BWSP treated water. Now KDB has got a 40 MLD plant they have put in the aerospace park. Since that development has not happened, so the 40 MLD, I think 1 MLD or something was only 4 MLD. 4 MLD was being utilized, but there were about lot of water which was not getting utilized. They were not even taking the water from BWSP. So then we utilized that opportunity to meet our requirements. And now we made an agreement of, currently they have agreed to give us 5 MLD of water. In the next 5 years, depending on their utilization, they will give us another additional 5. At least now 5 plus another 2 from BWSP, 7 MLD we are okay. We will be getting anywhere between 3 to 4 MLD. So 10 MLD we are assured. So as far as the treated water is concerned, we have secured our future for the next 5 to 6 years, depending on the traffic growth and other things. So this is on the treated water. So the important aspect what needs to be understood is, while you use treated water, what is the best benefit? From a water perspective, water management perspective, we are reducing that much consumption of the fresh water. Fresh water, I don't mean that even the purified water in the purest form, even if it is surface body, which is of drinkable standards, even. So we have our own harvesting ponds, but we don't take water from that. We always take the water from the treated water only for all this purpose. Now this treatment, sewage treatment, lot of questions, lot of clarifications, discussions, all of this happen when we talk about the liquid sewage treatment. So we had just adopted one simple formula. When you feel the risk, just implement. That's augmentation. So because as an organization, we can't stand to violate anything, not the intent to violate. We don't want to do it. That is our commitment. So what we started looking at is, at 2018 we put the 2 MLD STP. That was the first ASP was the process, activated sludge process. It was working fine. There was a small change when we started converting them to low flow fixtures. So what happened is, hydraulic gone down, pollutant loads increased. Somewhere we are not getting connected with that. Then we started getting an impact on the STP. So there are certain things which from a practical angle also we have to view, because the numbers are too heavy there in the airport. Many of the things went low flow fixtures. But we didn't stop at, then we thought that what is the option? And our passenger growth was also predicted. So 2019 we went on adding another 1.5 MLD of SBR. That was with an SBR we put it. Earlier one was the ASP. Now, when our terminal came, T2 came, our projection was that, because this planning was done ahead of COVID only, because we do prior to 5 years of planning, and then start working minus 3 years, basically. 2019 itself we started working, 2018 itself we started working on this project, because we don't want to fail. Because there could be lot many delays. Even this project also got delayed because of XYZ reasons. But we didn't want to delay, so we wanted to install this plant. We went ahead with the plant. Now in between what happened, COVID came. Okay. But 2022 we operationalized this. Now because of the COVID, there is a reversal of the passenger growth. But now this year we are picking up. But otherwise last 2 years we had a low passenger growth compared to the original projection. So how did we manage? So we just shut down one of the SBRs. We just shut down the SBR, just kept some liquid in that and then managed it. We were running the ASP literally for some hours, something like that, because we wanted to have redundancy, because this was the new system. Any new system, We can't say it's not reliable, but we didn't want to take any chance, so we kept the redundant system always there. Now coming to the parameters, quality testing. So basically when we talk about the sewage treatment plant or any asset, importance is on operating and maintenance. Mostly O is taken care because it is only switching on a button and switching off a button. But M, very difficult. And you, because in the Indian context, the skill levels, the training, understanding, they are very low at the level which the agency deploys. Because many of you are asking a question, the STP is not working fine. And see, there are multiple reasons. We can't attribute everything to the contractor. Even starting from a design flaw, you can land anywhere. So here, very important aspect is whether he has got the skill sets. Contractor may be very good. He will talk, okay, I know this, you will get influenced. Now you will award. But whom he puts into action, that becomes very critical. Now, how do you do that? There's a big question mark. Because in foreign and all that, they've got everything training. Annually, they need to get the certificates. Every trades, they need to get a certified by, they have to renew their certificates showing their competency and all that. But of course, in Indian context, when we will have that, that's different. But at least from our perspective, we should ensure that we do this little homework and see that the best we can get. Of course, design and all that, my suggestion is you need to get to an expert always, because it's not an easy thing. For me also as a civil engineer, I'm not an expert in that. But I've understood overall how does the system work, where are the challenges, how we can surmount the challenges. But designing a system, starting from an input, your pollutant load, hydraulic load, what is the variability? Always create that question. That's our experience. You have to overdo that system little more, because you don't know when the peak load comes or when the hydraulic increases, because you are telling how to control. So you have to, better you counter that in the design itself. Then, in an average thing, you will be able to meet the requirements. So if you look at the treated water quality, those are all the 4 stages where we have written. That the first one is the influent sewage. Second one is the decanted water from the SBR basin. Next is the UF, and next is the RO. So we have very cautiously we treated this time, because we wanted to use flushing water and HVAC water, superior quality. So we chose the UF and RO. It is working very fine currently. And we have all the automated systems for the STP monitoring, where the SCADA, PLC, everything is there. At required locations, points, sample results are available for you on certain parameters which we wanted to look at that. So that helps. Basically, visibility is everything which can lead you to take some decision proactively. If you are not able to identify where the problem is. Oh, sorry. Time is up. Oh. Yeah, okay. Okay, so that's where this is the, if you see here, this is how the thing works. One important thing what we have banged upon is we have used an asset management system. We introduced that of late because this asset management system gives a clear visibility of every asset. Of course, not every asset comes as a data point. So people have to be honest enough to pitch in, plug in which asset is down, so that you can look at that, which is down, and repair it. And of course, there are trend analysis, there are exceedances, alerts and all that you will get from the asset management system. So you need not go to a bigger system. You can use an Excel and even still do this work. Of course, these are all the trend analysis, data analytics and all that. Of course, landscaping smart irrigation systems we adopted. They're basically evapotranspiration based and soil moisture based systems. Then they also have an option of leakage detection in a particular zone. If constantly at a higher level the water is flowing, automatically that zone will get shut off. These are all certain interventions of sprinklers. And so I think from an airport perspective, we spent a lot of capital investment to ensure that these systems are invested on the air side also, where you come on the runway and all that, the size. These are all same, I'll just keep that. And of course, sanitation and cleaning, flushing, we discussed that. We also have an aircraft sewage disposal system. There also for cleaning and all that we use treated water only. This is our percentages for different major usage of the treated water. So this is the results of the lakes which we worked out, and this is the quality testing. So actually, of late we started seeing that the water table has come up in multiple locations at airport. 2.5 meters we are hitting water in multiple locations. We just tested the parameters of the water. Now we are working on how to safeguard the infrastructure. So this and all I can skip. So hydrogeological survey is one thing which we also went ahead to look at where is the water bearing strata, where are the aquifers, and where are the dry zones. The intent is that dry zones could be recharged. If there is an excess water, you can recharge the dry zones. So we wanted to experiment what is happening because of the introduction of the pond. We saw that there was a rise in the water table, but said that the two surface wells, they have gone because this was below the surface wells. So sustainable initiatives, these are all what we have taken initiative, but at the same time we also take care of the human perspective. We have introduced a water control unit at the STP. I think that's it from my side. So these are all the awards which BL is getting many awards. So that's it. Thank you.
Sir, you already gave information about usage of the treated water for a construction. We know like Bangalore airport, the T1 was completely constructed. So how did you monitor the quality of the treated water? Did you had any parameters that you were checking it? What was your, how did you manage the quality?
See, construction quality, basically we didn't have a lot of water. So what we did was we used it only for the dust suppression. Yeah, very honestly, because even during that phase, now KDB is coming, no, still it is, we need to get the water, still we have not got. Just that project is getting completed in a month's time, then only we'll get, but we don't have the cushion to use that. But L&T has done it in an extent what is possible to them. Because then getting the, in construction quality, basically I'm a civil engineer, there are a lot of challenges. Because you can ask somebody to deliver, but what is the quality is your headache. So that's the
Excuse
challenge.
me. I just have a few quick questions here, this side.
Yeah, please.
Can we leave the treated water to the lakes?
So treated water, you have got different categories of water, surface body and land.
According to the government,
Yeah.
and I mean, is it okay with the BWSSB or stormwater drains? Can we leave the treated water directly to the lakes?
Correct. So your treated water should meet the surface body water requirements.
Okay.
There are parameters which are defined, but you can leave it.
Okay. My next question is, what happens if there is a sudden downpour of the rain? So is this water first you capture it into your lakes, only the excess water you direct to the lakes, or how are you doing it right now?
So exactly two principles there. So December, every year December, we will reduce the water level in the lake. We'll be harvesting all the water. So we create a detention there. 10 to 15% we'll keep to ensure that whatever the aquatic life is there is not disturbed. Okay. So then all of that area is available for detention of the water. When the rainfall starts, all of that water has to fill these levels, then only it will overflow.
It's not on the serious note, but when there is a heavy rainfall, we see the pictures of the airstrips getting flooded with the heavy water. So is that because of not having outflow channels to the lake?
So it is, I mean, if you're talking about Madras and Mumbai, those are all different scenarios because they're nearer to the surface of the rivers and all that, and the channels, Madras basically. But Bangalore is not having that risk currently. Bangalore, only thing what we have observed is they raise the weir. They built up the rear. They had opened up the river, Samad Weir at the outfall. Now they just closed it. Actually, now we have got water levels, good water levels. So if you ask me a question whether impact the airport operations, no.
If others don't mind, just two quick questions. So you explained about the STP, what you have, right? So is there any plan of processing the gray water or the black water in a separate way, or you're not doing anything in that front?
Not exactly, because we have not taken that because it has to come from a planning stage. Because you need to have separate lines and all that. We have not done that. Second part, when you asked, just one more suggestion, this kitchen waste is creating STP's damage. Your oil and grease, and then all that your, ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ ಸರ್ ಅದು ದೋಸೆ ಹಿಟ್ಟು ಅದೆಲ್ಲ, what do you call that? Batter and all that, when they go, they will be like your inerts. Then they will kill the, especially ONG, we had lot of challenges in our STPs. So we went ahead with explorations. So that's one thing which we need to be mindful of.
So the water, I believe I heard that you are supplying water to the aerospace, right? Are you?
Oh, we are getting water from the aerospace, KDB,
So the other way.
the tertiary treated water.
So with your experience, what advice or suggestion do you give it to the BAF, the apartments associations? What should we do? Because what we get is what the builder has built it, right? So how different can we implement at that point when we already got a completed, installed project in our hands?
So again, you can only improve. You can't do anything. But the improvement should be established defects. We should not just spend money like, see, I have seen many of the apartments, even in our apartment, I don't want to take the name. So we spent money, but result was zero. No improvement happened. So you have to get into an expert who can give you practical solutions, no theoretical solutions. So that's very important. So how do you figure out? Don't ask me. So that's the only way out. Because that's a real challenge that I can completely agree with you on that.
Okay, thank you. I'm done.